back to my channel. I'm James, and today we're going to be discussing and testing out one of these great classic 1980s vampire comedy movies that really is just one of those great cult classic movies. So today I'm excited to announce we're going to deep dive into The Lost Boys on 4K Ultra HD from Warner Brothers. Now, this is one of those releases that I was really excited to dive into and start testing out to see how it compared to the original 2008 Blu-ray release. And that was way back at the beginning of basically the Blu-ray era and the technology and things like that. So it's always one of those things I'm curious how much of an upgrade this ends up being, if this is worth spending our money on, and if this was something that actually looked a lot nicer than what that previous 2008 Blu-ray was. Well, today I'm gonna go into this and do my exclusive 4K versus the original 2008 Blu-ray image comparisons. And that's something I exclusively do here on this YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to go down there and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and a like for me. Now, while I'm going through the image comparisons, I'll share all of my exclusive testing data, and then I'll also wrap it up as always at the end with my review score. That gives you a total compilation of how this compares to hundreds of other 4Ks I've exclusively tested over the years here on this YouTube channel. So make sure to always stick around till the end so you get my total review score that sums it up and lets you know if this is actually worth spending your money on and upgrading to, or whether you should stick with the old Blu-ray release. Now, to start off with here, I'm going to show you the 2008 Blu-ray image. Now, this is always the native image that's present on these discs, without all the things your TV can do, like pumping the color up or pumping the black levels up as high as you can possibly get them. This is the native image that's present on these discs. So if your TV is professionally calibrated or calibrated correctly, that's what you're going to be seeing. Now, what you'll notice right off the bat off this original 2008 Blu-ray was it had a very, very heavy brownish kind of almost tone to it. And it was like a brownish yellowish tone throughout the entire color grading of the original Blu-ray release. Now, as you can see in the sign here, it does look okay, but you really don't notice the big difference until now showing you the brand new color grading of that sign at the beginning of the movie when they first get to town. This is the brand new color grading and 4K scan that they did of the original 35mm camera negatives. And I can tell you it is drastically different. This is another one of those releases that really, really did surprise me. Lost Boys, this new color grading makes it look so much more natural and just better overall. As you can see with that initial sign there, instead of it having that like yellowish, brownish almost tint to it, that I mean, if you don't have something to compare side to side, it's hard for a lot of people to tell the differences until you see them side by side. That's why what I do here is so exclusive, so that way you can see for yourself what the true differences are between the native images on each of the discs that's present. Well, on that original 2008 Blu-ray, as you notice there, other than just the color changes, I mean, the image was softer. I mean, like I said, it was back way at the beginning of Blu-ray's era, and the technology and things like that, they just weren't as advanced as they are now. So what they're able to pull from this native 4K 2160p, because they went back to the original camera negatives and scanned the original 35mm camera negatives to create this native 4K, man, does it bring so much more detail and clarity to the image, as you're probably noticing in the comparison images above. Now, when you get done watching my review here and hearing my review score, if you decide you want to buy any of these releases, so if you decide you want to buy the Lost Boys 4K Ultra HD, I will put the direct Amazon links listed down below in the description section and as a pinned comment below. So make sure if you decide you want to pick up or buy this, you click through those links down below. That's at no extra cost to you, but it does help to support this YouTube channel just a tiny bit, but it doesn't charge you anything extra when you click through those links, and it's on sale for the same price everywhere. Now, I am happy to report on the 4K Ultra HD they didn't cut down the image at all. It is in the aspect ratio of 2.40 to 1, so the nice thing is we do retain that on this. Now, this does contain HDR10 on it. And that's where you'll notice with the color grading in the HDR10 that they did on this, it brings out so much more of the lights to darks than what you ever had on that 2008 Blu-ray. Honestly, the 2008 Blu-ray more had of a grayish tone in a lot of the darker scenes, unless you turned your TV up super unnatural to like make it super dark, which then changed their flash tones and everything inaccurately anyways, way worse than even what you would have seen on the native image. Otherwise, the actual native image that's present on this 4K has really nice inky blacks and really nice like white, vibrant whites, while giving a good balance while not going into the black crush. So the nice thing is on the Lost Boys 4K from Warner Brothers, it doesn't air or go into the areas of black crush at all, which is really appreciable because that means what you see, you don't lose those details in the backgrounds or details in the darker areas. You can see all those just fine. It's just those areas that were black before, or kind of darker grayish on the original 2008 Blu-ray. Now they're inky black and look phenomenal. Now, talking about the film grain on this, it does retain the really nice filmic film grain throughout it. And through all of my exclusive testing, through all my calibrated displays, and then doing the side-by-sides, this does have more film grain than what the 2008 Blu-ray ever had. But I will say the film grain is nicely stable through most of the film, until later on in the later scenes in the film. There is some slight instabilities that appear later on in the film, but they're not so distracting that they're flickering or really bad. It's just if you're one of those people that really pays attention, I try to be picky for all of you, you will notice later on in the film some slight instabilities. But when I say slight, I'm really meaning slight. The film grain really looks good on this release, and I think they did a great job with the new scan and made it just look very, very nice overall, and a big upgrade in film grain quality wise, giving much more depth to the image than what that 2008 Blu-ray ever had. And even with those slight instabilities later on in the film, the overall upgrade of the image of what you see is a nice upgrade over that previous Blu-ray. And this new 4K really produced a very detailed image with really outstanding clarity and definition to that image that really made it just look great. Now the film's about kind of like a comedic vampire look at an 80s world of basically if vampires existed in our real world, and it's kind of taken from, in my opinion, kind of a Goonies aspect feel to it. And it's kind of one of those things that Richard Donner was involved in it, and obviously Joel Schumacher actually directed it. And it's one of those just really great feeling films. When you watch it, you walk away saying, man, that was just a fun time. Kind of like I said with the Goonies. I love that film. And I really feel like The Lost Boys has a lot of elements that kind of made the Goonies great. The Lost Boys has those involved in it as well that really gives you that just great 80s classic movie feel. The runtime on the film is really fast-paced. It is 97 minutes, so it never lingers long on anything. It has some good funny scenes in it. Has some good like scary scenes, some thrilling scenes, some horror like some people would say, without overdoing any of it, but it's such a great mixture altogether that I really don't feel like a lot of films can match nowadays, as like I said, a lot of these 80s films do. They just did such a great job, and this is one of those. Now it is rated R for violence and language, so it does have some gore in it, some jump scares, some violence in it, so go into it knowing that, but it's never over the top. It's not gratuitous. I think it's done very tastefully and just blends so well with the film that when you do get done, if you've never seen this before and it's your first time watching it, you'll want to watch it again. It is one of those films you will go back to year after year to watch again and again because it has such a great feeling to it. Now talking about the audio mix on this, it does come with an English DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 and it includes 5 other language options for audio mixes on it as well. Though I will say the English DTS HD Master Audio, the 5.1, does sound slightly better than the 2008 Blu-ray mix. And I did feel over that 2008 Blu-ray mix on the new 4K, it is a much more balanced audio mix without some of the drastic heavier fluctuations that existed in the 2008 Blu-ray, where you would really have to, like, if you were watching it at night, you turn it up, turn it down, turn it up, turn it down. The 2008 Blu-ray had some of those instances where I constantly did that when I was watching it. Those are happily gone on this. It kind of just smoothed out more, where you still have obviously the highs and lows when things happen, but it's not so drastic where they're quietly talking and you can barely hear them and then you got to turn it up. Then the next thing it's so incredibly loud that then all of a sudden you got to turn it back down. I was happy that they kind of fixed that and smoothed it out, so it did seem like they reworked some of the audio on this to make it sound better overall, so I am happy to report the audio was a slight upgrade as well. Now talking about what you get in this set, I absolutely love these metallic slipcovers that Warner Brothers does in their first pressings. Now, if you're wanting this slipcover, as I've talked about recently, I just recently did the Real Genius 4K versus Blu-ray image comparison. If you haven't checked that review out, you're going to want to go check that review out. I talk about the slipcover. It is a very limited edition slipcover on that. That one's only in the first pressings. Once it's gone, it's gone. Well, this is the same type of thing that Warner Brothers does. They will print these for a little while and then they get rid of them, and then all you get is basically what's below the slipcover. But I love their metallic slipcovers. I really think they're nice, and if you're a slipcover collector, they do a great job with their metallic slipcovers, though I do think that they could have done a better artwork on it. I mean, Real Genius, like I talked about in that review, has one of the best slipcover artworks. I absolutely love how it harkens to the 80s and has so much cool things in that slipcover. On this one, it's okay, but I could have thought of a dozen other things. I mean, me being an artist, I could have made something way better for the Lost Boys that would have kind of harkened back to all the things like, you know, the arcades they're at, and then obviously comic book stores, and done little like excerpts from different things and made a cool slipcover. But anyhow, I digress there. But the slipcover artwork's just okay, but the metallic is what I think is really cool on it. On the side here, it does say the Lost Boys. And then on the back, it has obviously some pictures from the film. It does talk about you do get a Movies Anywhere digital copy of the movie that is in 4K that comes in it. And then talking about the special features, it does contain all the special features from the 2008 Blu-ray, so you're not missing anything on there. They are all contained in this as well. And this is what you get inside without the slipcover. That slipcover just kind of adds a little bit more pizzazz to it. Now, when you get inside here, you do get 2 discs. You get your Blu-ray, which is a BD50. As always, I exclusively test everything here on this YouTube channel. The Blu-ray on this, I am happy to report, is a brand new scan. So they use the scan from this, but put it onto the Blu-ray. So those of you that don't have 4K yet, but you're wanting to upgrade, this does contain the new scan of the movie. It's just dumbed down to 1080p without any of the HDR, and it's not a native 4K. But I am happy to report it is a brand new Blu-ray. They did not throw in that old 2008 Blu-ray scan with the horrible color grading and just soft image overall. You get the brand new scan with the better color grading on this on the Blu-ray. And it is a BD50 and is region free. Tested in all of my players, my region A, B, C, my royalty region, and my region free. And it is 100% region free. So any of you worldwide that want to import or buy this, through that link I've posted in the description section and as a pinned comment, it'll ship anywhere worldwide, and you'll be able to access both your Blu-ray disc and your 4K Ultra HD, because that is region free as well. Now, for the 4K Ultra HD disc, it is a BD66. Now, as most of you know, I really love BD100s. I would prefer all studios just use BD100s anyways, but this one, happily, because of how short the film is, it didn't have any over compression at all. It didn't have any issues with blocking or banding or anything like that. So the BD66 worked, though I just like BD100s anyways, as most of you know. Now, touching on the image quality, a couple of things I just wanted to touch on again, as well as just to point out, because of the massive change in what they did with this new color grading, that brownish hue that basically went all over their skin tones and everything else was just really like brown, tan, yellowed out. It just looks so great, looking more natural. Even the vampire scenes and things like that, they look so much better even with the makeup on and don't look as like waxy as they did in 2008, where it kind of just with the color grading and because it wasn't as detailed of an image anyways, when you saw like those vampire scenes, you could tell kind of just it looked waxier. It looks so much better on this and added so much more to like the jump scare scenes, just looking more realistic, skin tones and everything else. While on the same side of it, all those neon colors that you have, because it's an 80s film, like in the comic book store, and obviously when they're walking down by all the rides and things like that, those bright neon colors, when you have that kind of orangish, yellowish color grading that was on that Blu-ray, it kind of just added a, I don't know, just not as bright or vibrant for those neon colors because they were tinted just slightly towards a certain one side of the color spectrum. Well, on this new 4K Ultra HD release, those things shine so great with the HDR10 presentation that, man, as you can see in those images above, when you're looking at this 4K and you see those like neon images coming out, those colors just looked so great. And I love the 80s, and those neons are just what I grew up with and loved. And man, do they look phenomenal on this. And this really does make it just the best version of the Lost Boys that's ever existed. Now, getting to my review score for the Lost Boys on 4K Ultra HD. This gets a phenomenal 9.6. This is a must-buy. This was one of my most excited releases that has come out in a while now. I talked about Real Genius earlier. I loved that one. This one is just another phenomenal 80s movie that they've done it justice and really given us something that's a big, massive upgrade over that previous 2008 Blu-ray. As I said before, you'll never go back and watch that 2008 Blu-ray after you watch this new 4K of The Lost Boys from Warner Brothers. It really is that much of an upgrade that you will just absolutely enjoy watching the film all over again and really feeling like, in my case, I felt like I was watching it again for the first time because there was so much more to see. Even details in the background that you couldn't really notice as well on the Blu-ray. You can see so much more details in the 4K because of it being so clear and defined of an image, and they did such a good job with that film grain without using strong DNR or anything like that that basically made it look waxy. So Warner Brothers did a great job with this. This is a must-buy. You need to add this to your collection. I put that link down there in the description section below, and as a pinned comment, it takes you straight to Amazon. So if you decide you're going to buy this or pick this up, make sure to click through one of those links I posted below. That's always at no extra charge to you, but it does help support this channel just a tiny bit, and it's the same prices everywhere. So if you do decide you're going to pick it up, make sure to click through that link. Let me know in the comment section below how excited you are for The Lost Boys after watching my review on my image comparisons here. I was really excited after watching it and going through and doing all the comparisons side by side because it was one of those that I'm happy to announce was just a phenomenal upgrade. I mean, 9.6, you gotta buy this right away. It is another must buy that you will enjoy having in your collection and watching year after year. Because this time of the year, it's kind of fun to watch these films anyways. I love watching The Lost Boys. It is one of those 1980s films that really has such a great feel to it. Now, I am working on Poltergeist. This is the surprise one coming up. I wasn't going to tell all of you about it, but I thought, since I'm doing this one, I'm going to talk about this one as well. I am working on this for my next exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray image comparison. That's going to be coming out here soon. So if you haven't done so already, make sure to go down there and give this video a like for me, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. And if you enjoy all of the hard work I put into every one of these exclusive comparison reviews, as most of you know, it takes me anywhere between 3 to 4 days for every single one of these to pull all the data off of these discs, test them side by side to provide you all of this exclusive image comparisons that you see above. Make sure to join my VIP Collectors Club. That is the best way to support the creation of these videos and to support my YouTube channel. Because the only way I can keep creating all of this exclusive content that all of you love watching here on my channel is through all of you, my viewers' support. So please make sure to join my VIP club. It costs you less than the price of a cup of coffee each month, but that makes a world of difference for the creation of every one of these videos here on my YouTube channel. I'm not sponsored and I'm not paid by anybody. I'm only supported by all of you, my viewers and subscribers. And if you want to give a super thanks to the super thanks button down below, that's just like giving a tip as well. It lets you give it a tip of any denomination on each video you watch. That helps out as well and goes straight back into the creation of these videos as well. I also wanted to let you know to make sure to follow me on my Twitter. It's 4K Blu-ray Reviews. I always post it at the beginning of the videos, but there's also a link here that I post down in the description section and as a pinned comment. Make sure to follow me on my Twitter. I post little updates, things I'm working on, things that I'm dealing with, whether I've tested something that came out well or not. I post little updates on there, so make sure to follow me on my Twitter. But recently I talked on there about that I am struggling with a lot of health issues. I did just want to let all of you know I have to take massive amounts of painkillers to be able to film these reviews, but that is why these are being a little bit more difficult for me to get out lately I'm possibly going to have to go in for some multiple different surgeries for different medical conditions I'm dealing with from the car accident that I talked about many years ago that I've had thing after thing seem to go wrong. But and I'm not complaining here. I just wanted to give you all an update on that that's kind of something I'm struggling with and going through. So be understanding that I'm getting these out as fast as possible as I can to all of you. It does just take me a lot of time and work to do all of this, and when I film, I have to take a ton of painkillers to be able to film and talk because the pain's so bad it's hard for my jaw to move. So just thought I'd share that with all of you. But as always, I hope all of you have a blessed day, and I've always got something new and exciting coming out very soon.